What is going on, Wastelanders? Draco Invictus here with a Fallout 4 Let's Build live stream. And you know what? We're wrapping up. Well, no, we're not. I've wrapped up Finch Farm. Done with Finch Farm. It's getting too laggy over there. And if we do much anything else, it'll just be totally unvisitable. So we are going to call Finch Farm done. And I am doing some cleanup now. So I did. So yeah. Hey Stronum, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I did say let's play. Yeah, I almost said let's play. Because it's that's the rhythm. So, but we are going to be taking a look at, we're going to be revisiting the Container Fort, which is my crossover from State of Decay 2. Hey, Brian. Yeah, I was laying in bed for like an hour and a half this morning going, what the hell am I going to do? Finch Farm is going to kill the game. And so I was like, you know what? I'll do Container Fort. Yeah, Strontium, having another person that's wrong doesn't make you right. What's going on, Dean? How you doing, buddy? All right, so I am going to, let's turn these off since we're here. Yeah, I'd love to do more in here, but we are just, God, it's hard to move as it is. So we will jump out of here, and we are going to go to there. Doing well, my friend, doing well. All I gotta say is Nagasaki, man. Ada.
Hey.
I'd be happy to help if I can.
Stay right there.
Very well. I'll remain
Don't
here.
go anywhere. So as you guys can see, I have done some work here. I was just gonna do like hey, okay, it's all built. Let's do a showcase, but there are a couple things I wanted to get done. But there's the front of it now. But the fact of the matter is that they still grew there, Strontium. Plant life can grow. So, that's all I gotta say. Alright. So, yeah. We, it looks really, really cool. I am very, very pleased with it. Now, I did realize last time I visited the Container Fort in-game that I actually screwed up. And there were supposed to be more containers up there, but I'm just going to leave it like this. But yeah, I mean, I started putting in, you know, gardening sections. I think I'm going to make this my workshop area. And, yeah, so it's coming along nicely. Let's give you guys a quick aerial view of it. So yeah, there it is. And I put all these like antennas and masts and all kinds of stuff because this is going to be like the radio room in State of Decay. So we're going to put some equipment in here. So that's going to be like the communications array up there. So a little bit of both, Brian, a little bit of both. There we go. Feeder back on terra firma. I think I want to put some stairs here, though. Oh, no. Because I have a guard post over there, I'm thinking. Yeah. I may be able to put some stairs there. Put them on this side. Falut. Ghouls in a cage. Yeah. Alright, into build mode we go. And let's get out of special. There we go. Perfect. I like it. So yeah, this is coming along really, really well. So I guess I just need to get started here. Let's since this is going to be our workshop area, we're going to put like all of our workbenches in here. Maybe put a table in the middle. Yeah, see, so we'll put in like the armor smith. And then we'll put in an actual armor workbench here. I got jokes and salt. Nice. Actually, we're going to save the chemistry station for our infirmary area. So definitely got to have a power armor station in here. Let's go with this one. Ooh, the small power armor station. Hell yeah, let's put 2 in. Screw it. Ammunition workbench. There we go. That's the mod that we added to our workshop. See, I'm totally bridging State of Decay 2 and Fallout 4 now. All right. So, and if any of us recall the like the workshops and all that stuff, they always have lots of shelves and bins and stuff like that. Yeah, but you always have to walk into them. So, and that's what I was getting at there, Strontium. I know exactly what you're saying. I want containers. And we're going to want this big stuff here. I know you are. Don't you worry about it. Oh, I like that idea. Hey, Stella. I like that idea a lot, Dean. I'm going to move this over here. Then we're just going to have... Hey, lava? Man, twice in 2 days we get to see lava? That's crazy. Let's see. Go with some file cabinets. Yeah, I know they're not perfectly lined, and I don't want them to be perfectly lined. And you know what? Screw it. We'll throw an ice machine in here. Or an ice storage. There we go. Alright, so let's go back before we fill in the center here. See, I knew there was a weaponsmith workshop. How did I miss that? So let's just set this down. Put that down. That's funny that I don't even have to glitch it. This one, we're definitely going to have to... You still suck at Tropico 5? Nice. Oh, Stella, you haven't missed a lot. Not today. The last time I did any video here was putting the containers up. And because I was just going to do it as like a builder showcase, just like, okay, look, everyone, I'm done. But then I thought, no, it'll be fun if we just, you know, do all this, so... So you haven't missed much of nothing. Great idea, Dean. Thank you. All right. So... Yeah, I was having that problem at my at Finch Farm Lava, where all of a sudden everyone got unassigned, and it was a royal pain in the ass. Let's take this one out. Put this over here. Put this over here. No, I did not get it fixed. Yeah, I did not get it fixed. Wish I just had these tanks. That would be freaking awesome. And it's floating. But we can fix that. There. Doesn't look floating now. All right. Ooh, good idea. See? You know, that might just look cool there. What's next for me in Fallout? I am going to be doing a multi-part series for a factory. Mr. Nastybones did a great video about Tanner's toy factory, and I'm going to do a multi-part talking about electrical systems and conduits and how I run conduits and what a pain in the ass it can be. Actually using some of the techniques that I've seen Nasty Bones use for doing multiple conduits right next to each other. And I did a lot of that in the Evolution Challenge in the factory that I built for Stu. But at the same time, I want to expand upon that because I think there's a lot of great information there. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Dean. There was so much great information there that I think it deserves its own little series, so it'll be cool. For special meats, lovely. Man, I need a huge no smoking sign right over here with all these frickin' tanks. And I am going to do it with some factory mods, but I'm going to go through and look at all the vanilla pieces and talk about, you know, some of the things that, because Dean did all of his no mods, and the only reason I'm going to be using mods is because there's some pieces that should have been in vanilla that weren't, and so that's I'm not trying to do anything that you wouldn't normally see in a factory. And it's like curved pieces and stuff like that. It's just crap that should have been there that wasn't, and it kind of bums me out. So, but that's the beauty of mods, is that we can now take advantage of that. But you guys know how in depth I went with the control systems for the ammunition factory in the Evolution Challenge. So I want to, you know, spend like an entire episode going through that. Oh, absolutely. Upright conduits and just verticals that don't have the 90-degree bends on both sides. So if I wanted to run up 3 stories and then go back into the building or something like that, or make that turn, I should have been able to do that without having to go up and over and up, and it's just stupid. Hey, and guys, I did get a new shirt. I know you can't see it because I have my camera kind of zoomed in so you don't see all the boxes behind me, but check out my shirt, huh? It's dangerous to go solo. Take a Wookiee. So... All right, so I think that we've created... Oh, we got this container over here. Maybe let's move this over here. We'll put this one over here. Oh, and this shirt's hilarious. I saw it, I said, yep, I need that shirt. I wore one last night for my stream, or yesterday afternoon, but I didn't talk about it, and it's a shame because I didn't realize it says the perfect day, you know, and it's, you know, a lot of playing video games, so. All right, so now I want to go over to furniture, tables. See if we can find that robot table. We may have turned it off in the decorations menu. Yeah, Lava, I stood there for 5 minutes waiting for that message, and it never popped for me. That was a couple weeks ago. So, alright, so I'm going to have to go turn that thing back on. So to the end of the special tab we go. Think, while I'm here, I'm just going to put them here. I probably won't use this as my kitchen. I don't know. I might. But when I find crap like that, I definitely got to grab it. All right. I'll send it to you on Discord. I'll send you a private message on Discord. And we're definitely going to want that up here. Yep. The storage locker for Denise. Well, see, that's what I did. I put the workbench right here. Now, in one of the updates, they actually moved the workbench into this hallway, but this was the original storage locker location for the container fort. So I'm leaving it there. Put Denise in the storage locker. I gotcha. All right, I'll get you that. See, and man, I'm going to use some of these too. I'm going to put that up there. Or maybe this one. I already got that one. I'll have to come back for those. Oh, all right. It's the pre-war mirror. Yeah, and some people want to see all the trees die, so we get it, Strontium. See, I think that, man, if I put that right in the middle, that would pretty much kill putting anything else in here. It certainly fills it out, though, doesn't it? No, just you and Sarah. I see. That's like personal vengeance, though, Brian. That's Strontium is like, you know, he's all about just the principle of the matter. You're wanting like personal vengeance. Alright. Anyway, I still want to go turn this toggle on. Alright, here we go. Armor vendor, bar vendor, clinic vendor, clothes shelves, desk, garage. Garage shelves and tables. The items are contained in the shelves, tables, and misc decor tabs. Alright. We might want something from the garage. And there's our tables. Alright. You know, that saying is really, really false. Sometimes the enemy of your enemy is still an enemy to you, irregardless. Alright, so for those of you just joining, I showed it earlier, but let's take a quick look at the container for it here. I got rid of the plane that was the fuselage that was crashed here, and we built the container for it. And like I said, I've done a lot of work because I had intentionally, the initial container build was just, that was the only thing I was going to put on video, and then it was just going to be a builder showcase. Hey everybody, look what I did, you know, and this is all themed after the container fort that is found in the game State of Decay 2, as most of you who watch my channel have probably seen it. And so I built it. All the containers are the exact same layout as the container fort. The size is the big difference. This place is much bigger than the container fort in State of Decay 2, simply because the containers are bigger. He will hurt you. The only containers I apparently missed is there were 2 small containers up here, but I like this that I've built, so I'm not going to put those containers back in. This will probably be a sleeping area. I'll probably throw beds up here. And again, I'm still, even though this is in Fallout 4, I'm building to the idea of State of Decay 2 in the fact that they're okay with beds that are outdoors. There's a slight morale hit, but they will sleep there. So yeah, this is the container fort and everything that I have done so far, and it looks like we're running out of daylight. So let's land the old UFO. See, some mods can be extremely helpful. All right, and now let's we'll go over here to the cheat terminal, and we are going to go game alterations, world manipulation, date and time. The day we're going to increase by 1, and the time we are going to set to, we'll go 6 a.m. and we'll bump it to 8. There we go. There. Ta-da! Alright, back into build mode we go. Alright, now let's go over to our furniture. Come on. Tables. And what is it? What is the mod, Stronium? See, look at this garage table. Oh, that's awesome. And since it's on wheels, we can like put it like right there. Oh, nice. That's the table I'm looking for, the robot table. But I actually kind of like having the robot workbench in here. So what we may do is we're going to kind of play with this stuff a little bit here. You know, let's turn that one back around. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, and a sealed vault. See, now this is a workshop I would fucking work in. Holy hell. I like it. That's a great idea, Lava. You know, Gary's actually talking about using mods, and he hasn't used mods in like 2 years. And the only mods that he's going to do are the settlement mods, and he's going to do a settlement build series with those mods. I thought that was, you know, that's incredibly humbling, you know, that the man swore off mods, but he's going to go back and do a modded a build through with my mods, which is pretty cool. It means I have to build at all these locations, Lava. You know how many times I've done shit at Red Rocket? But I hear what you're saying. All right, so I like this. We need lighting in here now. Nice. I'm just going to say this as a general thing. Watch out for the quest markers that are there, because I know that there is a quest marker there. If you're building a mod that is a settlement there, so. All right, here's what we're going to do. Before we do lights, we're going to grab some conduit here. Oh no, I know that I've seen other modders make settlements and they destroy any quest markers that were there, and that's kind of sad. Okay. Almost there. That one's probably not going to snap into place because it's glitching through the other side. So, we will make it work. Just get it lined up. There we go. Yeah, getting it lined up didn't really work out, did it? I'll get you a radioactive crater. There. I probably could have, Dean. Well, no, well, I probably, and you know what, we'll try that. Because I'm going to put another one over here, probably based off of, yep, based off of these girders here. I will probably hang another bar. I know it's floating a little bit. Man, it really wants to snap up. So, you know what? We know that's the right height, so we'll leave that there for now. I'll come back and adjust them in here in a second. I'll see that one's perfect. Oh, right there. Oompa Loompas? Probably not. I'm going to automate that shit. Because the Oompa Loompas were just a bit much, I think. Alright, we'll have to come back and fix that one. Let's do that right now. All right, so let's come out here. Where in the hell did that come from? Glad I found it. And we'll go this way. And the frickin' door closed. So, there, when all it fills, move the damn door. Problem is that it won't let me do place anywhere now. And that's the perfect spot right there. Yeah, I know, Dean. The real question is... Alright, good. Ah, come on. Damn it. Oh, now I can't move that table? Kiss my ass. Alright, Brian. There. Bolt girl. Who is my favorite companion? I gotta go Kate for Fallout 4. I adore Kate. Yeah, I don't even have a generator or anything set up here yet, Dean. I'm my favorite companion. Nice. And let's see. Move this out of the way. We can probably do another set. Well, it's not quite perfect, but it all looks attached. Screw it. Ah, damn, missed that one too. That's all right. It's in the wood. All right. Now let's put you back in here. There we go. Who and why is the most annoying boss in Fallout? In all of Fallout, I would have to say Kaiser. Can't stand that guy. Yeah, I always took great joy in kicking his ass. And that means I'd have to take down all my lights, Dean. See, the problem is, Dean, that I have with fields is that I will always end up doing something to fuck it up at the very last second. And I really don't want to go back and do it all again. Really, really don't want to go back and do it all again. But there is a way that I can kind of cheat. It's not really cheating, but I have if done correctly with conduits, then I could essentially just create a field in the workshop by using the right conduit in the right location. Because I have some conduits in here. Let's see. That's door activators. Yeah, see this large radiance? Ooh, that's medium. Yeah, tiny radiance power conduit. Minutemen. Actually, knowing that this place is 3 squares, if I put a conduit dead center right in the middle, right up there, because we know that it's 2 sections wide, I could hit just this workshop and not much else. I certainly wouldn't be hitting over here underneath the antenna array. And even better, I could actually put it under the floor because my lights are still within the range of that. Because I also have, let's see. Yeah, an insulated power conduit. So it transmits 0 radiant power. So I could put this here, run it to my generator, wherever the generator is going to be, and then put a regular old power conduit right underneath the iBot. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I could hang it up here if I wanted to. I could do, you know, one of these and catch everything. But yeah, I could put an insulated under if I didn't want wires to show, which I think I'm okay with wires showing in this because it fits with the whole build. Yeah, here's an insulated power pylon. I could literally put it up on the top of the building and then put a regular pylon right underneath it. Actually, I probably wouldn't even need to do that. I just haven't figured out where I want to put my generator yet. I mean, I could put it in any one of these containers. The only thing I wish you could do is extend the length of a tripwire. You know, make it, you know, to go from the table all the way over to here, for instance. That would be cool. But yeah, so I know it's not dominant and passive fields and stuff like that. But at the very least, I could do controlled power. If I group select the robot workstation and place one under it, then you'll be able to place... Yeah, the problem is if I go to group select right now, it's going to grab all the floors. I mean, it would pick up the entire thing. But there's a mod for that. So we will say that we want it right there. Okay. And that's just a regular old power conduit. Grab this. See, and it won't go back, right? Oh no. Whatever will we do? Now, I got an answer. Well, first I could place anywhere. No, not at all. Come on. But I can also move this down. So all we have is that little nub sticking up. And actually, I could probably go a little bit further down, too.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
It's Dino.
Hey, Vic.
See?
What's up, my buddy?
So now that power conduit is just a little nub sticking right there. You'll never see it.
Well, what I was meaning is if you take the workbench outside, lift it up, you can use group select or your mod. You can actually place the conduit sticking to it from underneath.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then when you grab the workbench and you bring it back, it'll go right in the floor. You can move it around. You can connect a wire to it, whatever you want to do. And it'll always go right back in there.
I gotcha. Yeah, this is what I did in my factory because I was running all the wires under the floors. I had to put it so just a little nub, and when you connect a wire to it, it's all under the flooring. You never see the wire.
Right. Yeah, and the only reason you see that right now is because you're in work mode and it highlights.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I get out of work mode, and I mean, we see it because we know it's there. But if you were just glancing, you would never think that that little nub thing sticking out right there was actually anything but the part of the workbench.
Right. Yeah, creating fields isn't quite as hard as you think it is. It's really easy, and after you do it a couple of times, you really get the hang of it.
Yeah, I know. I just need to practice on it. You and Nacho make it look so damn easy. But you guys are both, you know, I mean, I'm Johnny come lately to, you know, ooh, I want to do really, really controlled lighting.
Well, I do have a problem with that. Since I've learned how the electrical works, I just want to always do it.
Sure.
And it's probably overkill, for sure.
But it makes sense that everything should have a switch or a trigger. I mean, why would the lights be on all day, every day? Because we never have to fill our generators with fuel. But I think if we did, then everyone would figure out a way of turning lights off.
Well, you know, I had so many problems in the beginning, well, for quite a while, about the electrical. I would do something and then it would be messed up. And I know a lot of other players have that problem too. And so, you know, it took me over a year of constantly building mock-ups and of just the electrical to figure out why it was doing that. And once I figured it out, it was actually so simple. I just couldn't believe how simple it was.
Sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Inside your containers are hollow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, because each one is an individual piece. I've put these all down.
I gotcha. Okay.
So since I knew that no one would ever be seeing the inside of this, why put up walls? You know?
Right. You know, I don't use mods, and we don't have that. Every container's actually solid.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. One thing that I did when I did use mods in the very beginning is created rooms inside of the container. You could size shrink a door down and place it in the front, and windows and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. And, there we go. There. So the real question is do we want to put have no power at all, right? Unless you walk through the door. But we have two doors. I mean, this isn't going to be...
You can use logic gates for that.
Yeah. But honestly, this isn't going to be an actual settlement. I'm not bringing anyone here.
Gotcha. Just a prop.
It's just a build, you know.
Right.
To represent, you know, the container fort that I absolutely loved in State of Decay 2. So because I'm like, I can fucking build that in Fallout 4.
I get so many inspirations from other games, other things. I understand it fully.
So,
and it is looking pretty damn sweet, Vic. I mean, really sweet. I'm like, oh man, why didn't I do something like this?
Right. Here. Yeah, now we can get it into the generator. But yeah, there are some mods, Dean. Like, look at this, an insulated power conduit. It radiates nothing. You know, you want control over your stuff. That's the way to do it.
Right. Well, you can still do it with, you know, the other conduits. It's just using the tips, you know, of how to get it done.
Right.
I've run literally 15 conduits together in a row, and none of them affect anything but what I've pre-chosen for them to affect.
Sure.
Yeah, my Nuka World themed build is like that. Conduits are running, you know, I think like 6 rows of conduits in every direction. And you can control the whole park from one switch, or you can go to individual switches and turn off individual sections.
Right, and then I watch you screw up your fields fast, too.
All you got to do is move one thing that a conduit's connected to, and it's all messed up.
Yep, that'll work.
And yeah, and it's pretty heart-wrenching when you build something massive like this, and then just one little mistake, it's all jacked up.
Actually, we'll go ahead and leave that right. Yeah, right there's fine. It doesn't really matter.
Now, Vic, I got a question for you. Nothing to do with the settlement. You stream to Mixer and YouTube, or do you do Twitch as well?
Yep, I do all 3 through Restream. Yeah.
Right. Okay. How are you keeping your delay to YouTube down? I'm having a problem where it's like literally 15 or 20 seconds before I get there, and then by the time they answer me back, it's like literally another 15 or 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm running the ultra low latency setting on YouTube. It's like literally like a second and a half.
Well, that's what I've got. I've got it set down on a second, but YouTube is the last in the list. Will that, if you put your list on Restream, like whatever's first, it goes there first, second, third? Is that how it works?
I don't think that's how it works, Dean, but I could be wrong with that.
Well, it's about the 6 or 7 seconds to Twitch is what it usually is, but I did Twitch first, I did Mixer second, and then I put YouTube in third. And my guys have not been complaining, but they've been complaining about the length of time it takes.
Proximity detector. Ooh. I wonder how close you have to be. I guess we should play with that, huh? Let's do this. Now, why won't... Alright, fine. Be that way. There. Oh, crap. And it's already getting dark again. God! There. Well, that That's interesting. Oh, okay. So they are on. So it must be pegging off of this conduit here. But let's... Yeah, I don't think that it's an order issue, Dean.
Well, I'm not really for sure, Vic. It's just, I know it's a long time to YouTube, and yours just isn't. And I do have mine set on 1 second, which is the lowest you can set it on.
Right.
But yeah, one of my friends says he watches on Twitch and YouTube, and there's like a big delay even between those two when they get it.
Right. Chrome, yes. Very excited for 76.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about 76 as well. It was a little bit heart-wrenching. Not this week, but last week we did a Q&A, and we talked about 76. And I really wanted to get everybody talking about gameplay and the card system and, how you could build builds, character builds. And, not too many questions. But, man, the second we hit the PvP thing, the old chat box lit up. And, it makes me think that Bethesda is kind of pushing that still a little bit, because it's a sleight of hand thing. If they can keep people focused on this thing, then they'll get less questions about this thing. And, I really wouldn't mind really discussing the card system and all that. It looks, to me, the way that looks is you could literally make a ton of different kinds of builds, a ton of different play styles and ways, and learn how to adapt between them back and forth while you're playing. So you could be, carrying junk or doing damage or being in a group or whatever. The hundreds of different ways you might need to build or place your cards to make your character handle what's in front of them.
Yes. But no. Because you can only assign you can only add one rank to one card each level. So you're going to want to focus on whatever it is that you want to do until you get into level 40 or 50 or 60, and then you may be able to say, okay, now I can branch out and I can have another card set that focuses from heavy gunner to sniper, for instance, because those cards wouldn't really mesh well. So you'd have to focus one way or the other. Am I going to be doing a lot of damage? Am I going to be a tank? What am I wanting to do? And I think that I think that the game, as far as multiplayer goes, is going to almost dictate that we have more team builds. Okay, you're going to have your DPS, you're going to have your healer, you're going to have your tank.
Right, I agree with that. We talked about that too. Even though it might not be called tank, called healer, called DPS, you're still going to have that.
Sure.
One guy in your group's going to have heavy charisma, so that way you can trade cards. Another player might be heavy in strength, so he could be like the tank. Take the damage, keep the aggro on the enemies on him while everybody else is doing their job.
Sure.
I agree with that 100%. But I still think that I'm not really for sure about the addition of the cards, overlaying a card, making it a tier 2, let's say, or a tier 3. But I do know that if you put a tier 2 card in, let's say you got 5 strength. You've got 2 cards that are one single card. You got 1 card that is 2. That actually counts as 4. But I think you can still stack your cards. You just have to place them in accordingly to what point it costs in that particular stat.
Yeah, Because if you have a 5 strength, then you can only your ranks of cards or your points of cards can only equal 5.
Exactly. But I think you could still put 2 cards together in your inventory. You just couldn't place them in to your stat.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you, let's say you have 4 points already, so you have 1 point left available, but the only card that you have left is a rank 2 card, you couldn't put that card in unless you pulled out another rank 1 card to give you enough points in the pool.
Right, you would have a 2 rank, and a single rank equals the 5, right. But I still think that you could combine them cards in your inventory. You just wouldn't be able to place them in unless you adjusted your card slots for it.
Yep.
And that's what I was getting at. You could actually, maybe put 2 cards together as charisma, 2 in strength, 2 in luck or whatever, 3 in luck, and then pull them in and out and adjust your cards as you're doing the different, whatever you're getting ready to go do. If you're going to go looting, then you adjust for that. If you're going to get together with, because if you guys noticed when they were showing the cards, some of the cards were for a group. So it's not every card will affect a group. It's specific cards that you put together. So you would want to have cards that if you were in a group, that stat boosted up them as well.
Oh,
or
sure.
if you were single player, then you take those cards out, put your other cards in, so you're doing your own thing. And I hate to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to turn your stream into a 76 conversation.
Dude, State of Decay 2 streams turn into Fallout 76 conversations, so don't even worry about that. See, Volgirl says, I can see that careful thought will have to be given as to the assignment of the special points. May need to be thinking 6 to 7 levels above current level as to where you want the build to go. Absolutely, Volgirl.
Yes, I agree, but keep this in mind. 50 is the cap for points in your special tree.
Well, 56, totally. Because at level 1, you start with 1 point in every stat, so.
Okay, I got you, Vic. Vic is saying, Choppy, I'm sorry, I got another friend who's in party chat. He's saying that it's actually 57 because you get 50 level ups. Plus, there's 1 point in every stat when you start.
Nice try, Choppy, but you don't get an extra point for level 1.
Oh, true. You didn't get an extra point for level 1. So you get
49 level ups,
Right. Yeah, that's what Choppy said, too, was 49.
Yeah. So it'd be 56. But, 56, and again,
right.
Volgirl's bringing up the bobbleheads, which may give you 1 extra point for each special pool. So you could end up with 63.
Right. Well, never considered that there might be bobbleheads in the game, that's for sure.
Well, we know that there are bobbleheads because there is a perk that will give you an audio cue when you're close to a bobblehead.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. Choppy's saying there's an audio cue that pops up when you get close to a bobblehead. So, yeah, definitely.
Come on. Denise, I got my hair cut on Friday, but thanks for noticing. All right, we're going to put that there. And let's see here. Yep, Volgirl brought up the 7 possible from the bobbleheads. And welcome to the stream, Denise. So
well, if that's the case, then instead of 56, you can add another 7 on there. And I'm sure you're not going to get all 7 right away like you could in Fallout 4.
Oh, no. Well, considering the map is 4 times bigger than Fallout 4, and I imagine those bobbleheads are, as spread out, so now they're going to be 4 times as spread out.
Right. Well, then also you got to look at it like this, and I try to have tried to mention this a couple of times to the people who are talking about PvP. Basically, the way I'm looking at it is they're just not going to have resources to keep messing with you. One of the guys mentioned that, hey, it would be a challenge to come and kill you even if you don't participate in the challenge or the PvP. Well, yeah, it would be. But I think people are misunderstanding that we're not going to have thousands of rounds of ammo like we do in Fallout 4. You're probably going to be lucky if you ever get over 300 rounds of ammo. Even crafting them, I'll bet it takes massive amounts of resources to craft ammo.
Well, not to mention the fact that all ammo is going to have weight.
Right, it's survival.
Yeah.
But they're just not going to have the ammo to do it. Now, yes, there is melee. But guess what? There's also fast travel. And that person can't see you. You know, it's I bet you, now I'm just giving off a random number, but I'll bet to start off with, a person cannot carry more than 50 to 70 pounds of objects. And they keep saying over and over again, valuable, that your junk is valuable. It's not like convenient. It's not necessary. It's valuable.
Sure.
Your settlements are valuable. You know, there's a lot. This is the way I'm looking at it. I don't think we've even seen 1/8 of what this game is going to offer. And because I think people are too focused on PvP, they're not looking at the bigger picture. They're more like looking through a toilet tube roll instead of looking with both eyes. And I just, another thing, I guess the point I was trying to get at when I started this was when Vic said the map's 4 times the size. Well, if you think about it, it's going to be probably 2 times long, 2 times wide. Well, if you started on Fallout 4 at the very north, went all the way south, then turned around, went all the way back north, hell, you could cover that map in less than 30 minutes. But Fallout 4 is a flat map. In other words, there's nothing really blocking your way. Like Fallout 3 has a lot of structures and a lot of objects that make you walk long distances to go around it to come back to something that was literally, 100 yards right beside you.
Right.
That's not a flat map. And Fallout 76, I believe, is going to be extremely like this. There's going to be places you can't go unless you find an underground tunnel or some passage or a valley that you can go through or something. You're not going to be able to walk from one point to another in a straight line and get there. And that makes the map even huger by doing that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Stronium says, what if the bobblehead locations are in? I hope so, Stronium. That'd be cool. Because it would be well, they're going to have to be. Because in a multiplayer setting, they're not going to just have a rack of luck bobbleheads so that as the team walks in, hey, everyone, come over and grab one. So there's going to have to be some sense of randomness to it.
Right. Well, we've talked about this a little bit too. Take World of Warcraft, for instance. A whole group of guys go in and kill the end boss. Only so much stuff drops. And not everybody gets something. Only certain people. And there's a role system in World of Warcraft. So the role system, decides who gets the item. And it's probably going to be something like that. And think about this. What if end bosses in the dungeon drop some of those rare or gold cards? Because I guarantee you there's going to be probably 2 or 3 or 4 levels of cards that you get. The beginning level, you're going to get a lot of them. You may see that beginning level cards a lot, 10 times throughout your level up plays. But then some of them are going to be a little more rare. And then finally, the very rarest ones. And not everybody's going to get a card.
Right.
So, it could be a honor system. Who knows what it's going to actually be? Let's say, we're running as a 4-man team. We get to the end of a dungeon. There's a strength bobblehead. Well, you want your tank to get that, or whatever stat is required for a tank or a healer or DPS. You know, you're going to want them to get it. Yeah, you're going to want it, but it's more beneficial as the group that a certain person gets it.
There are also several perk cards aimed toward carry weight and some. Oh, absolutely. There's perk cards that are aimed, I think, for everything that you carry, because we saw that reduce the weight of food, reduce the weight of ballistic ammo, reduce the weight of energy ammo. You know, so there's a lot of. I think that the build guides for 76 are going to be vast and deep.
Absolutely. I think a guy or gal could literally make 1 million videos on a guide to Fallout.
Oh, yeah.
If it came out in a book, it would be volumes, not one, you know.
Hey, Gary. Welcome to the stream.
The way I'm looking at it is job security when Fallout 76 comes. I just will not be able to put out content quick enough and fast enough. And for years, not just for days, for years.
Well, Lava, I'm okay with that. You know what? Swing for the multiplayer fences. Because here's the thing. Starfield will be single player. Elder Scrolls 6 will be single player. They're already in production on those with a new engine. They aren't... To make the idea of multiplayer work, they'd have to, from the jump, they would have to have multiplayer in mind. So when Todd Howard says that Starfield will be single player and Elder Scrolls 6 will be single player, they're going to be single player. So, you know what? Fallout 76, let them swing for multiplayer. You know what? Knock it out of the damn park. And then every other year, give us a multiplayer title in one of the other IPs that you have. Give us a multiplayer Starfield. Give us a multiplayer... Well, we already have multiplayer Elder Scrolls. But maybe not an MMO, but let's do like a 4 or 5 man team for Elder Scrolls. That would be kind of cool. But continue making single-player games. I mean... Use Battlecry Studios, or what used to be Battlecry, put them to work. Those guys are all multiplayer workhorses. Make them work.
Right. Well, you know, Bethesda's going to continue to do single-player games. That's what their studio is known for, the best single-player games. But, you know, I think with Elder Scrolls Online, they learned a lot. I don't think they were as involved in it more as the other, you know, studios that worked on it, but I think they learned a lot from it, and that's what really makes me think this. I think, well, what really bothers me is how people are so focused on griefing in the PvP. You're going to find out that it's going to be absolutely necessary to have friends if you want to go do any serious content. You know, you can do it on your own, but it's going to take you a while and a lot of gameplay. You can do ESO single player. You can do it with groups. They have PvP in ESO, but it's a prompted system. Somebody can't just come up to you and attack you. They have to challenge you. It's called a duel. So I'm sure it's a little different in 76, but it's really the same basis. Unless you go, okay, I want to, you know, duel you, then there's just not really going to be a lot they can do. And if the player keeps bothering you, you can choose to just go ahead and leave and come back later. There's plenty to do. So it's not like you have to continue to keep trying to do what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I've said it 1 million times, and I'll probably end up saying it 1 million more. We weren't supposed to get another Fallout game. We weren't supposed to see another Fallout game for years. So the fact that Fallout 76 has come out at all is awesome. We get to play in the Fallout universe, and for the first time, we get to play in a Bethesda Game Studios game with our friends. That's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. I mean, there would be nothing better than to be hanging out here with Vic right now in his settlement on my own character, helping him do what he's doing right now.
Right. I'd be like, okay, dude, you set up these fields, and I'm not touching fucking electrical. You know? Right.
Whatever. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there is a group workbench.
Well, and so I think that you nailed it too when you said that there's gonna be incentive and a reason to be in a group. It's not just gonna be you're gonna be in a group just because it's the thing to do. It's gonna be you're gonna be in a group because to do this one thing, you're either gonna get better rewards for being in a group, or it's just gonna be that much easier.
That much easier, yeah.
Right.
Right. Well, it's probably all of that and a bunch more.
Right.
Because it's like, let's take ESO. You go do something by yourself, this is what you get. You go in a group, this is what you get. You put it on hard mode, you get this. You put it on, veteran, you get this. So, the different, and they've said that they have, end game content to make the game harder. And they use the nukes as example, but I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more to it than that. Also, wrap your brains around this one. If there is a group workbench, that means we can build together. So maybe I'm making ammo. Maybe Vic is doing armor. Maybe Loco's doing power armor. We got stores together in a settlement. And if you look at the very first trailer that we seen from E3, the one settlement that's on the edge of the cliff, you can see that it's got multiple people built in that. It wasn't just one person. It's brief, but you can see it, that multiple people have built in that. How cool would it be for 4 of us to build something massive together? And even in this last interview, Todd Howard says, yeah, we got settlement blueprinting because we don't want you, meticulously working on your camp or settlement for hours and then have it destroyed and it's all gone. Well, that tells me that it's more than putting up a damn floor and 4 walls and a ceiling. It doesn't take hours to do that. It takes hours to plan it out and get your stores and your crafting deals just right and your defenses, etc. You guys build, you know what I mean. Oh, that would be so awesome to build together. Oh, shit. And then how much can we get away with?
The only bummer is that it's not persistent. So if we're building for hours, and I'm not saying not building in one camp, but let's say that you set up your camp right at the edge of mine so that we're not overlapped, but we could pretty much extend and make a bigger base by using both of our camps, or 3 camps, or 4 camps. The problem is that when you log off, there's now a hole where your camp used to be.
Right. Well, that was my original thought clear back, a month and a half, 2 months ago, was that. But that still makes sense. You're logged off, you're not there, then, your resources are not there. But what if you build as a group, or there might be a setting where you log off and your stuff is still there? That way other players that happen to trip along buy your stuff. Because it's going to be extremely... Okay, they said in the very first one, we want everything that Fallout's always had. We want vendors, we want this, and that, but we want them to be real players. So that means that you're going to be crafting and selling your stuff. And what if you say, okay, let's say you make 100 rounds of ammo and you put on your deal, I want 1,000 caps for this 100 rounds of ammo. But what's to say you can't trade valuable scrap for it as well? So you could say, oh, I'll take 1,000 caps, or I'll take 3 nuclear material, 2 this, 2 that, some screws, etc., and trade for that. In this way, a player could get unattainable resources that he might not be leveled to get yet, or have been to an area and get, to help him craft from the plans that he has found. And, you know, you get those plans from boss drops as well, enemy drops. So it's not like you're going to be able to just start crafting stuff. You're going to have to find the plans to get that stuff. I'm telling you guys, this game is going to be awesome as hell. It is. I can't wait.
No, I think there, you know, every time you do something, there's always that lessons learned. They're going to take the things that they've received the most positive feedback on, and they're going to reinforce it.
Absolutely.
You know, probably the only thing that's not thoroughly reinforced is the settlement building. We get the camp, but I'm guessing we only get 1 camp. There's been no indication that you could have more than 1 camp, because you pick it up and move it someplace else. You don't build another one someplace else.
Well, this, you know, look at it like this. You get 1 camp, but if they have a group camp, maybe any one person on the game can put that group camp up. So that means everything that everybody else built is there as well. And if I log out and one of you guys log in and you put the group camp up, then there's everything everybody built. And that's really feasible to do that. You have your own, I mean, it's like that in State of Decay, right, guys? You have your own place, and then you have a group place. And you can go do your own thing at your own place, or if you're on with a group, then they can access that stuff if they're on and nobody else is. It's still to, or I think I'm getting that right.
Well, it's basically what it is in State of Decay 2 is that when, let's say I'm the host and Gary wants to come over and play, he's playing on my map with my base, but when he goes to the supply locker, he's actually accessing his supply locker in his game. So as he's picking up stuff around, you know, around the map and putting stuff into the supply locker, it's actually for him to keep, not for us to use.
Right. And see, that makes great sense as well right there. But it's still kind of a group thing. And however that works out, you know, whether it's individual but in the group camp, or the possibilities here, I'd love to have been on the board talking about all the ideas for this game.
Oh, I know. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to is this idea of private servers, if we could make them persistent. If I had to pay $10 a month or $20 a month to have a server slot that always kept my camp up, and anyone who I invited to that server could keep their camp up all the time.
Right. Well, you know, we just don't know about that. But, you know, I agree. I guess it's Loco that's with us. Is that right? I don't want to say that. Okay, just making sure. You know, like Loco said, the game is going to constantly evolve. They even said that in this last interview. This game will not be the same game it is right now a year from now. It won't be the same game in 5 years, 10 years, and beyond. So what we're dealing with now is going to definitely evolve and change sometime. You know, and of course that's from the feedback of what we all say and put into it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be, you know, if you were to go in at launch and play it, let's say you never played beta, but you went in at launch, what you see in that game, and if you were to come back in 6 months, I mean, the familiarity will be there, but there's going to be so many other different things that's happening.
Right.
You know, between things that people can craft, things that, you know, just any number of things due to the fact that we just don't know what all's in the game now. I mean, just the changes are going to be just astronomical, and so.
Well, not to mention updates and stuff like that from Bethesda.
Right. No, that's what I mean. Yeah, because that's how they're going to keep people playing. You know, you have to keep it. You can't just keep it stagnant. You know, Fallout 4, people keep playing. You know, because there's, you know, people get new challenges that they put out, or you know, those of us that build. You know, obviously we can just keep playing it forever as long as we keep coming up with new ideas and stuff to build. You know, no problem. But something like Fallout 76, they're going to be, I mean, they've already talked about doing events and, you know, all these different things. And, you know, all these different things that they're going to be introducing is just going to change the game every time you go in there. It'll be great.
Right. And I think, you know, the events that they're going to have is really going to curve the PvP people's appetite. They do that in Elder Scrolls. I mean, they got a whole section that's designed for nothing but PvP.
Right.
You know, you got 3 different sides to join up with, etc. And I think that'll curve people's appetites on doing PvP. Yes, we're going to run into dicks and assholes. But I think with all the systems that they have in place, it's really not. I think people have just way blown this out of proportion. Way out of proportion. And I think it's a lot of these YouTubers' faults too, because I'm sure you guys have noticed the bazillions of videos out there where people are just constantly going on about the PvP.
Right, exactly.
But it's all speculation and supposition at this point.
Absolutely, every bit of it. Half of what we've been talking about or more is speculation. But, you know, I agree.
But we're smarter.
I agree with that. And we're having
we're
more of
from a logical standpoint as opposed to just emotional knee jerk.
Well, and it's not. I don't even think it's that. I think it's all clickbait shit. They're just trying to get more views, more people. You know, it's more of a personal thing to get people on their platforms and money and shit. Where we don't care about that. We're discussing it logically. Not trying to get people to join our communities or, you know, get that 10,000 views, 50,000 views on a damn video.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Major, welcome to the stream, buddy. Now, you haven't missed nothing. I decided to work on the container for it. I was originally going to do just a builder showcase when I was all done, but then I thought, no, I'll go ahead and share this with everybody too.
Vic, I got to give it to you. How you can continue to keep doing what you're doing, staying focused and having a conversation at the same time is really awesome, dude.
Thank you.
In my streams, I mean, I'll find myself standing still for long periods of time. I've got to quit. I'm trying to get better at it. But we're so in depth in a conversation that it's hard to focus on, you know, what you're doing and focus on the conversation as well.
Oh, yeah.
And reading all the comments that are flying in.
Oh, you know what? I just thought about... Wow. I did this way harder than I needed to. That's all right. No, it's... It's something that I learned very early on when I finally said, okay, I'm going to take streaming seriously. Because I streamed off and on for, God, about a year. It was more off than on, but still. But I was watching other streamers, like high-end streamers. And those guys are... you know, they're well focused, but they're engaging and stuff like that, but they can't stop doing what they're doing, so.
Well, I think one of my biggest problems is a question will pop up, and then because we talk about it so long, 50 other comments have popped up, and then I've got to take a second to read through them and try to, because I really try to talk to everybody who puts a comment in there.
Sure.
You know, if they're asking a question, if they're just saying, hey, what's up, or, you know, something, it's quick. But I mean, I've been really lucky. I've been hitting 160, 250 or more viewers a night. And when you've got that many comments coming in on YouTube alone, let alone Twitch and Mixer, it's a lot of comments to go through. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how I could handle it if I started getting 1,000 people watching.
Oh, and some of them don't. Some of, if you know, the comments are just, it's just like a stream. It just keeps going and going and going. They don't even pay attention at all. They have a group of moderators that answer questions and stuff like that, but there's no way they could.
I don't know if you've ever been in any one of Oxhorn's streams, but yeah, he'll pick out questions, but I mean, the thing is flying by so fast anyway, and he's filtering in from, you know, the 2 or 3 different places where all the comments are coming in. So yeah, it's just flying through, and you know, like he'll you know, stop and pull out some here and there, but he's now got moderators that'll point some out to him as well. Hey, you know, Bob's got a question or whatever. But yeah, when you get that many, you just can't keep up. It's
right. Oh, I could definitely use a moderator right now. Definitely. It does. I've really, you know, I apologize to everybody if I don't, you know, answer your question. It's not that I don't care. It's just we got to continue with content, and I can't get to everybody. And then just every few minutes I'll look, well, you know, maybe every 15, 20 seconds, look over, read a comment, go back to doing what I'm doing and talk about it or whatever. And then, you know, there's 15, 20 seconds go by, look over at another one. But you know, I've got a lot of active people, and they've got a lot of great comments. And then what's also nice is they carry on a conversation between each other too. And sometimes that'll mess me up because I'll see something and I'll be like, okay, I don't know what that is about. I don't remember talking about that. So that's actually been a little bit hard to get used to, because I'm thinking most of the questions are being asked to me.
Right. Absolutely. And hey, Mikey, what's going on, buddy? And sometimes I literally have to stop what I'm doing because I'll see an answer to something in the chat, and I'll be like, okay, what was the question? And I'll have to scroll back up to see what the question was, because I like whatever the answer was, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to put my input on that too. So.
Right. Well, I think I'm doing pretty good, but there's still a lot of learning to do, and a lot of, you know, the thing that's really killing me is how many people, we've been doing Fallout 3 2 nights a week. I'm doing the Realism Challenge, where I'm playing with no HUD, no VATS, no chems, and that means even stim packs. And the people that come for the Fallout 3 are just huge crowds. You know, I love this game. This is my favorite game. I've played it 100 times. Dude, then why are you watching me? Because I like to see people playing it, you know. And it's just strange to me that people will be into that, because I probably personally wouldn't. Like, I don't mind watching builds and settlements, but I don't think I could watch a gameplay very long without wanting to go play the damn game myself.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, you know, and it depends on what the mod is for, Major. And Vault Girl, to hit on your question, Bethesda has never had a game that had official mod support at launch. Ever. Notice I said official mod support. Nexus Mods is not official mod support. And because the creation engine is what it is, and the reason why I'm standing here, guys, and just letting this sit, is because I'm waiting to see if this sensor that I just put up will turn off. So it should be turning off here, and the lights will automatically turn off by themselves. So, yeah, yeah, that's why I'm leaving this where it is. Yep, there goes the lights. So they come on at night, turn off during the day. Boom. No switches needed. So, but as I was saying, you know, it's always taken months for official mod support, even when it was just on PCs. You know, we saw that with Fallout 4. It was 4 months before official mod support came to Fallout 4. Yet PC gamers were unofficially modding day one. All right, so that switch worked perfectly. Our lights turned off at 6 a.m. and they will turn back on at 6 p.m. So let us...
Oh, that's awesome.
I know, right?
Right.
And I don't even have the switch here anymore. I don't need it. I have a power running from the generator to that conduit there. Then it runs under the ground to that conduit there. Runs up to the switch, or the sensor. And then that sensor feeds over to that light post, as well as it feeds back down to this conduit, which then runs underground to the conduit that's right here underneath the robot workbench. So,
well, that's cool. I've tried to figure out how to do that in Fallout 4, and I can't. You could if you had like 9 million delayed on switches,
right,
or delayed off, but or you'd have to have 9 million interval switches as well. There's just really no way you could do it.
Yeah, not in vanilla, no. This advanced settlement power, which is one of the mods that I'm, you know, I don't think that this is stifling my creativity, Major, by having a tool that honestly we probably should have had in the vanilla game. You know, something that just looks at the time, the game time. So it's 6:40 a.m. Why isn't that in the game? Why did it take a modder to create that?
Right. And I agree with Vault Girl.
Nobody ever thought about it before.
Right. Well, and, you know, let's just take Fallout 76 again. You know, 5 years after launch, all brand new ideas are going to be coming up. Things that just were not thought of or talked about when they first created the game.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I agree with Vault Girl. I have nothing against mods. I just feel all games should be enjoyed as vanilla, as a vanilla experience first. Yeah. I'm with you, sister.
Yeah, I think if you don't enjoy it as vanilla first before you ever mod, I think you're doing the game itself a disservice.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like, look at this. How many games have we seen over the millennium where people got the game and then modded the game themselves to get the best weapons or weapons that aren't in it or super powerful or whatever? What fun is that? What fun? Why pay $60 or more for a game that you're going to whoop in 30 minutes?
Well, it's the same thing with cheat codes and all that stuff.
There you go. Cheat codes is what I meant. Yeah, not mods. Yeah, cheat codes. But yeah, I absolutely agree. I used mods when mods first came out. I enjoyed them, had a lot of fun with them, but they wrecked my game. And that's why I will not use mods again.
Exactly why I won't either. And I wouldn't even go so far as to say I enjoyed them. All the build mods that I had, there was just too much shit. I found that I wasn't using the majority of it all. And it's just like, I just trying to get through all the menus just to get to the one wall that I want to use or whatever. And it's like, forget this, you know, and then everybody knows about how long it takes to go get back into build mode and all that kind of stuff when you got that. It's like, no, I just way too much crap that I just don't use. I mean, there's a few things that I've missed, mostly decoration type stuff, but the rest of it I could care less about.
Right. Yeah, we talked about this last night. I had an Elite controller about a month before mods come out. In 4 months, I wore that Elite controller out, scrolling through the menu. So, yeah, that's not good. $160 controller gone within 5 months. I mean, it's literally destroyed. Everything about it's destroyed. The A button. As a matter of fact, I took it apart and put a 360 controller rubber pad inside of it. I had to modify the hell out of it to get it in there to get the A button working again.
Wow.
The D-pad completely destroyed. I mean, it doesn't work at all. Now, if I was on PC, I probably wouldn't have a problem with mods. But on console, yeah, not so much.
Yeah, on PC, I still had a problem with mods. Like I said, it broke my game, and like once I one of my mods, they no longer supported it or something. I don't know, and that mod just disappeared. And because I was using Nexus, the mod just was gone, and every settlement that I had built anything with that mod just wrecked it, and I couldn't. And I mean, it took me hours and hours just to delete a building, or just to scrap what little bit of the building was there, because I'd scrap it, game would crash. I mean, completely crash down to the desktop. I have to come back in, go through the whole load up and everything, get back in there, and until I could finally get like one wall scrapped, and then I'd have to run out of the settlement, save it, come back, and hope that I could scrap something, whatever the next thing was, before it would crash again. And it just took way too long. It was obnoxious.
Well, and then another thing is too, if you've done any kind of size glitching, it's still considering it that size. So even if you're taking objects out, you are like, I had a big major build at Sunshine Tidings, Raider Settlement, massively huge. And when the mod that I was using went bad, I mean, I was missing half of it. Walls were gone, roofs were gone, floors were gone, lights are hanging in the air, conduits are hanging in the air. But my size build is still exactly the same.
Right.
So if I was to go and tear a bunch of stuff down and try to rebuild back up again, whether I'm using vanilla or not, I'd have to resize a glitch again. And you know me, I take my shit right to the edge. I mean, it's over there teetering, ready to fall off the cliff. And, you just couldn't build there again. And we're talking, I lost 3 settlement builds that I can think of. One was the first Star Trek build I built. This one at Sunshine Tidings, and then another one at Starlight, I think. No longer can build at those 3 settlements, and those are fun settlements to build at. So what can you do? Throw the character in the wind and start over again?
I've been there.
Yeah.
And I was there before mods too. So
right. And anytime that you rely on a third person as part of your game, you have no control over what's going to happen. Excuse me. And mods are a third person deal. You got Bethesda, you got you, and now you got a modder. And it's bad enough what Bethesda does, let alone what a modder might do or mess up. Plus, think about it like this, ladies and gentlemen. How much fun is it to be created to build shit that people go, oh, you modded. That's mods. I mean, to think out of the box of the normal, to me, is the most rewarding.
absolutely. Gardening, graves, medical. That's what I want.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see the bowling alley. This will be you guys think the Star Trek build is awesome. Wait till you see this.
Is it going to take another year before you're finished?
Yeah, it probably will. I've been so busy on all this other stuff. Actually, I've got the major part done, building the pin delivery system. Now, really all I got to do is lay out the conveyor belts that feed the bowling pins to the pin delivery system.
Nice.
So really, if I just would spend some hours there and get that done, I would just have to tidy it up, decorate it, and I've got the hard part done. 3 weeks working on that pin box, but it'll be my crowning achievement for building. It definitely will. I mean, where else can you see a vanilla game drop all 10 pins on the ground? You can bowl twice, take the pins away, resort them, separate them, bring them back, and drop them back in order again, and bring the bowling ball back to you as well.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
But it's took every trick in the book, not just building the pin box, but the electrical too.
Hey, Grayson, welcome to the stream.
Could you find that many pin boxes in the game to do something like that? Oh my God. That's a challenge accepted. Yeah. I don't know if you could find enough pin boxes, and then when you did, to have to carry it back to your settlement. And then not accidentally. Well, I guess maybe what you could do. Can you drop pins out of your inventory? Bobby pins? I don't even know if you can drop bobby pins out of your inventory. Can you?
I don't know.
Okay, I never knew you could. I know you can do ammo, and you get the ammo boxes and crates and stuff.
Yeah. There it is.
I agree with you, Victor. The MacGyver of Fallout 4. Well, I'm going to have to try that, because I think on Broken, our building character, I literally got 10,000 bobby pins.
Yeah, Vault Girl, that dropped as not a bobby pin box, but a single bobby pin with a count of 7.
Oh, so you'd have to have 7 in. Okay, so it's like the ammo boxes then. You have to drop so many before it, or the ammo. You have to drop so many before it shows the actual box.
Yeah. Coastal Cottage, Lava. We are tackling Coastal Cottage. Yeah, I just dropped 7 and they showed up as a single bobby pin, which on a gray ground is. I'm glad they dropped right in front of me.
Yeah, well, you'd have to probably drop 10, Vault Girl. 10 is the ammo count that you have to drop for the box of ammo to show up. Like 10 shotgun shells showing army. Whatever, an army container, so on.
Will I be doing Covenant? I don't know, Major, simply because there are so... Having a big quest line like that tied to it, and I honestly don't know what you could do at Covenant other than just making the settlement bigger, where you could build outside the walls. But, I mean, we'll take a look at anything. One that I won't be doing, Bunker Hill. You can rest assured I will not be touching Bunker Hill. At least not with this laptop.
Well, I've thought about Covenant building there. Actually, I toyed with building the bowling alley there first because of the way the road goes by and the sign entrance and all that. But where I don't use mods, I can't scrap the building, so I would have had to have built up above them. And the height there, if I remember right, it's only 3 stories that you can build.
Not when I'm done with it.
Well, it's not, Victor, it's not just a trading outpost. I mean, it is, but you do have several quests that are linked to Bunker Hill.
The big problem with Bunker Hill is that there is so much crap already loading there. You're only supposed to do very minimal actual settlement building at Bunker Hill because of the number of polys that those cells are already utilizing. It took 10 minutes and the cell still wasn't finished loading when I tried loading into the creation kit. So, yeah, Bunker Hills, that's a no-go for me. All right, so we got us a little infirmary. We'll move the fish gutting station out of the way.
Oh, that's only needed there. Maybe that's not fish guts.
Oh, there you go. The interesting thing about Bunker Hill, though, is that there is not a single workbench in that entire place. Which is really, really weird. Because that would be a great spot when you're doing survival mode to have a settlement without having a settlement.
I always get partial to Hangman's Alley, and unfortunately, it's pretty tough to build it.
Yeah, matter of fact, Hangman's Alley is the one that we're going to be doing in 2 weeks. So,
well, the biggest issue that I have there doing group selecting is that you cannot place objects more than 1 foot under the ground. So if you're trying to sink a concrete pillar into the ground to lift something up, you got to do it 1 foot at a time.
no, that's not what I'm talking about, Lava. I'm talking about there is no cooking station, there is no armor workbench, there is no weapons workbench. There are no workbenches other than the workshop workbench at Bunker Hill. There's not even a cooking pot. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Yay, my internet's back.
I hate when my internet goes down, especially when I'm in the
Okay,
middle of
Loco, where did it go? Did it run down to the store for a 6-pack?
Yeah, we had a power surge and decided that I didn't want to stick around anymore. Very annoying.
Yeah.
Victor, I've got a couple of builds at Hangman's Alley. I've got one where it's like, I guess for lack of a better word, it is a Bones Museum. I've got all of the legendary weapons that I've found hanging on walls. I've got the big roll-up barn doors in front of them on the walls, so it covers all of the weapons, you know, if I want to have them covered over or open them up. I've got all the power armors stacked up on layers up. I mean, you can get kind of creative there, but because you can't, well, the thing that really kills me is the build size isn't even as high as the buildings there.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
Yeah, that I know. I understand why, but still, you would think it would be at least as high as the building. But and then they put a enemy spawn location inside of the build area too, which, wow.
Well, hey, how about when the game first launched and you couldn't build around, or you could build around the corner, but there was no nav mesh for your settlers to go over there and do anything.
Right. Well, this is what I've noticed. I put a caravan station up on that end by where the enemies spawn in that back corner where the chain door is. And one time I'll get vendors there. Another time they will not come. And it just doesn't matter where you put it, how you do it, they just won't come there. And it's weird. I've had that happen twice out of, well, right now on the one I'm playing, it's happening. So it's just, I guess that mesh that you're talking about, just, it's still there somewhat or something. But you don't even really get settlers that even go over there in that area. You can, you know, put up work or vendor stores and stuff over there, and it's still producing for you, but you never see anybody at the actual store.
Right.
Standing there, you know, manning it. It's like about where that original wall is at with the guard tower is about as far as they'll go. And I don't know if you guys have had more than 20 people in that settlement and they don't go over there. It gets crowded.
Yeah, you're right, Major. I don't know how to do the wire glitch. I don't even know what the hell. What is this wire glitch you speak of?
Okay, I'll help you out, Vic. Highlight the wire, just like you are. You know how to do it. You're just giving us shit. Okay, I'm dummy.
Yeah, and he knows I know how to do the wire glitch too. So.
Okay. I'm over here going, really? Well, let me help you out. You know? Oh, now cheat.
I know, right? If I can get it. There it is. Boom. That's the easy way of... Well, I say easy. It's definitely time-consuming, but it works. See, and I just have all the lights set to turn on at night. Know how to use the wire glitch. Uh-oh. Major's about to die.
You better learn how to do the wire glitch yourself, Major, so you can get charged back up again.
That's right, Grayson. All right, so we got us a nice little infirmary there. Where do we want to put...
How cool would it look, Draco, if you slipped those lampposts into the container and just the top of it was sticking out?
Oh, no, that'd be very cool. My thought with the lampposts is they would probably have lampposts here. As a pre-war storage facility,
right?
These lampposts would probably have been there. See what I'm saying?
Right. You know, and I have a hard time thinking like that too. I always go, "Oh, this will look cool if I do this," and it has nothing to do with what might have been or whatever.
Right.
Know.
Yeah, I'm the role playing aspect of this is this container was here. This is a storage facility because the airport's right there. And so all the freight would come here and get sorted and get put into containers, and then you'd have the road that would, you know, trucks could come pick stuff up and then drive away. So it was a secure facility. So maybe we turn this into our kitchen and eating area. I like that. turned off collision, so like I could sink that thing right into the ground. That's another thing that should have been in vanilla. If I want to grab this thing and build it there, I should be able to.
Well, I agree with you on that. I've always thought that myself. I mean, you're building stuff. Why couldn't you build it the way that you would want it, not the way the game's pre-set for you to place it?
Right. All right, let's come over here to furniture and tables. There it is. All right.
See, you know, like this right here. I mean, why didn't we get some boards? Just boards.
Right.
You know, also some of the things like barrels. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the game that you can pick up and bring back to your settlement. Why don't we have those in our crafting inventory?
Well, and that's, you know, I mean, that looks like it could absolutely be in the game already.
Absolutely. I mean, we see the wooden boxes. I mean, well, go back to Hangman's Alley. I mean, there's 100 of them damn things there. But all you can do is scrap them. You can't move them. You can't do nothing.
Right. So if you look at the mods that I use, for the most part, now I played with, you know, modern building and stuff like that at, you know, when mods first came out. But this is what I want. I want something that looks like it was in the game and we just kind of went out and grabbed those boards and laid them across a barrel and some crates and made a table out of it.
Well, and see, and that's what happened to me when I first started discovering building. You know, it's, you know, post-apocalyptic. They give you some stuff that looks like that, but half the stuff doesn't look like that. And, you know, is it going to be post-apocalyptic or is it going to be modern or newish? You know, you could have both, but there should have been more to it, a lot more to it. But one thing I guess we do got to look at is it's probably one of the most or the best, you know, settlement building type games that are out. So I'm sure they learned a lot from that, especially with mods.
Well, and I am pretty certain just by looking in the creation kit, there was a lot more that they wanted to give us, but they were running into the same problems that we run into when we run building mods, in the fact that it was taking longer to get into build mode. It was taking longer to cycle through the different categories and tabs. And so they said, okay, we need to streamline this so that you can get it, so it feels instantaneous to get into build mode and it's very fluid to move through the tabs. So I get that, you know, there was probably a lot more that they initially planned for us to build with that they then pulled out simply because they wanted us to feel quick, that it wasn't labor intensive just to get into the build mode.
I never really looked at it like that, but it makes sense. Absolutely.
Welcome to Draco's Slop
fact
Bucket.
that
Minus 2-star dining. Nice.
Added after the fact, or not after the fact, but you know, as almost as an afterthought. You know, they didn't spend a lot of time really going through it. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, we can do this, and sure, we might as well leave it in there, you know, type of thing.
Right. Well, and then, you know, that could have been too. It's like, well, let's give, you know, a little bit of this type. Let's give them a little bit of this type. And that's why we've got the different, you know, you got like in the vanilla floorboards, you got a nice floorboard, you got a junky floorboard. You know, you've got, so they probably just, like Draco's saying, streamlined it, gave a little of this, a little of that, and I don't think they expected it to be as a big a deal as it turned out to be.
No, I completely agree with that. I think they were pretty surprised at how big of a deal it was, and even like with the Wasteland Workshop DLC and stuff like that, that was all done kind of after the fact. They're like, we can have a big win here by doing this DLC. People are obviously building, so let's do that.
Well, and then that's what makes me think about, how immersive is crafting going to be in 76? They've made a lot of money on this part of the game in Fallout 4. A lot of money. Why would you not pass that, or why would you pass that up in a new game coming out,
Right.
And I'm thinking it's going to be pretty immersive. I'm just wondering, what are we going to get away with in there that we get away with in Fallout 4? Are we going to be getting those group select options and carpet glitch options and stuff like that? But I'm sure we're going to all come up with some new ways to do stuff for sure.
I mean, because if you think, we call it the pillar glitch, we call it the rug glitch, but in actuality, those are game mechanics. We just use them differently than they intended.
Right. Well, we had a pretty good discussion about that the other night because, a female in our group or in our stream was confused on glitch. Well, I thought you said, Bones, that you don't do glitches. Okay, well, let's explain that better. Even though they're called a glitch because that's what everybody's just named them, they're not really a glitch. They're just a game mechanic that we have exploited or learned how to exploit. It's not really, a game. Here, let me show you a glitch. I grabbed a trash can, walked up the wall, went through a ceiling, and dropped on the other side of the wall. Now, that's a glitch.
Right.
So that's the difference. And so we actually named them. I just can't remember what the name was. It was like NPAC or something the guy came up with. And I can't remember. He had it good. Every letter meant something, But, it's not really a glitch, even though that's what everybody calls it. It's just easier to call it a glitch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Victor says, I like to keep things clean as possible. If it's what we're talking about, I like to do that too. And it's only been recently that I've been actually trying to get out of that and do stuff more junky, throwing crap on the floor, cans and bottles and stuff, instead of all nice and straight on the shelves and, in order. But this is the way I look at it. If I was in post-apocalyptic universe or whatever in real life, my shit would be straightened up. Now, it might not look the greatest because I used a bunch of crap to build it, but the floors would be swept and the shelves would be clean and so on. I mean, it's your living quarters. It's where you're doing your stuff. That's just who we are. But one thing about that, it's funny, a lot of the builds I done, people is like, it's just not junky enough. It doesn't look realistic, Bones. So I'm like, all right. So I build a junky build, and it's like, oh, wow, that's just too junky. I don't know. I do my stuff. You just can't please everybody.
No.
Certain people like it a certain way, and other people like it a different way. The sanctuary build that I did, I literally sank more than 100 objects into the ground, so just parts of them were sticking up out of the ground a little bit. Plus, I didn't scrap anything, and so all of the trees or branches are still there, and pallets and everything that was there, and it just added to it. And I've had a lot of people go, "Oh, that's that's too much. I don't think that looks too junky." And it's like, okay, I guess, whatever. I think it looks cool, but
Yeah, that's my thought on that too, Vault Girl. Why are these people living in abject filth? Even in Diamond City, there's piles of trash everywhere.
Yeah, I think you should be able to assign somebody to fucking trash collector, and just the game just over time, like when you're in a settlement or something, the game just over time just gets rid of some of that trash.
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be cool. And, and that wouldn't be a hard thing to do. They've got the scrapping stations or the
scavenging station.
The scavenging station.
I actually, when I first started playing the game, that's what I thought it was going to do. But then, you learn otherwise.
And that would be cool. Any objects that you would not be able to store over time, those would break down, go into your inventory, etc. It wouldn't be hard, I wouldn't think, to do that.
Right.
Imagine how many people would come to their settlement and just drop all their shit on the ground and leave. So,
right.
It'll take care of itself. I'll be back. That's what's kind of weird to me about the Sims settlement build, how it builds itself over time. That's cool, but it takes the fun out of building your settlement. The
creativity out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to have settlements, then okay, there you go. But if you enjoy building your settlements, there's that definitely removes all the fun from the whole aspect of it.
And don't get me wrong, I've gotten some pretty good ideas off of some of those builds. The guy who wrote that, was pretty good. It's just the mod itself. But yeah, if you were more interested in just playing the game and not building, but wanted settlements build up, then that would be a mod for you.
No, want tables. Not worried about clinic and medical. Turn all those off. Back into build mode. Now, and the Lost Traveler 23, who I've been doing the podcast with, he is actually a Fallout 4 modder as well. And he has a mod out there that totally cleaned up Diamond City. Just cleaned up the trash. And I think that that's, awesome because, again, they've been living in Diamond City how long? They couldn't go, hey, you know what, let's start picking up the trash around here so we're not living in total filth. I get it, a raider outpost, raiders are raidery, but for the rest of the civilized people that are living out there, it must be 6 p.m. The lights came on.
Well, and it's not only that. There's been many places I've went, and I'm like, really? After all these years, you guys couldn't pick these skeletons up and throw them out the door?
Right.
I mean, how does that got to smell in here?
Ooh, we are well stocked here at the container fort. Bottles of booze.
Well, I mean, look at it like this, Lava saying trash keeper, sanitation manager. We have that shit in the real world. I mean, you go.
Look at that. It's all like nice and neat. Everything's in perfect no, screw that. Let's see here. Come on. Oh, I need to put one of these lab tables over here. We were talking about that earlier and totally spaced it.
You know, it's funny, Vic. I'm watching your stream minimized, and down in the lower right-hand corner is some suggested videos. And the one that's there it's called "What Happens 1,000 Years." What happens after 1,000 years in Fallout 4? Well, the way they're going right now, not a hell of a lot.
No. You would think after 200 years that civilization would at least be starting to come back. And
well, a lot more than what you see.
Right.
For sure. A lot more. You know, I mean, yes, you know, you got set back a ways, but you're still going to have people creating and making things. There's just as many settlers and stuff as there is raiders, and, you know, some of them people are smart and they're going to be creating. And you still have some technology left over for them to discover. You know, I agree. I don't think it would be nowhere near as scrappy as Fallout 4 makes it.
Right.
Now, I could see this 76 year or, you know, 70, 100 years or something like that, maybe. But, you know, 200 kind of makes me wonder what it's going to look like for Fallout 76, just being 50 years later.
Well, it's not even 50 years. It's just 25.
Oh, 25. That's right. Yeah, thank you. My bad. Well, and then that's another thing I've thought too to myself, you know, and I understand why they didn't do it, because they've got so much foliage already. It would just take up a bunch more of those polygons or whatever you're talking about to have some greenery. I mean, you've got dead grass and dead weeds. They're not 200 years old, trust me.
Right.
You know, so sometime or another, something had to have been green. And I think they could have gave it just a little bit more color. Just a little bit.
Don't let Strontium hear you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm waiting for Strontium to chime in. He thinks there's too much green.
You show me any green in Fallout 4 and I'll bow down to you. I don't think I've ever seen any kind of greenage in Fallout 4. I mean, I can understand, okay, the trees are dead, whatever, that's fine. Some trees are still going to be there 200 years later after they've died. But why do we got weeds? Why do we got grass, dead weeds, dead grass? That, to me, didn't make sense.
Yeah, all that stuff would have just fallen apart.
Absolutely disintegrated. I mean, just a few years afterwards, it would have.
Right.
Plus, it does make it very annoying for trying to find legendaries that you've killed that fell into that bullshit and you can't see them.
Oh, man, talk about something that annoys the shit out of me.
Oh, that does me too. That's what I love about Fallout 3. You kill an enemy, you know right where that sucker's at. You can see him fine. Vic, I like your bar across the top. 0 people, 0 food, 100 power, 0 defense, 0 beds, happiness, 0. Yep. But we got 3 water.
Yep. Yeah, Workshop Anywhere, that mod. I love this mod because, you know, again, I have an idea for something. I don't know an existing settlement where I could have built this. Maybe Starlight? Maybe. But being able to drop this workbench anywhere and it automatically creates boundaries and all that stuff and allows me to build here. Again, I'm not planning for any settlers to be here. This is just a build. And I like it, you know? But yeah, that bar is pretty funny.
Well, it is State of Decay, you know, inspired. You don't got really settlers living at your stuff there.
Yeah, you see the random survivors that come through and stuff like that, but they're all... for that, it's funny. It's like, it's 2 years, but these people are bitching about the most random shit. Like the apocalypse happened yesterday, and they haven't adjusted to it yet. You know?
That's just funny.
I do love these lights. They really light an area up.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
There. Oh, we need to put in like a counter or something. Someplace where they could like rinse off their dishes, because we're not frickin' animals.
Toilet. I'm thinking toilet.
Let's see. Let's go over to
The toilet section.
stores first. No. Where the hell is it? Come on.
Yeah, see, Vault Girl said Stronium hates trees. Well, I think I heard why. One fell on his house and his car.
No, that was
Can
Brian.
understand that. Oh. But let's see how much he hates trees when he can't breathe any.
Right. All right. Too dark to do that. Yeah, it had to really kill him when I was running that, like, overgrown Commonwealth. He's like, that's it, I'm not watching any of his videos right now. They're way too much green.
And see, for me, everybody's like, I thought you said you don't use mods. Well, I used to use mods, and one of the mods I used was Touch of Green. Because I didn't want overgrowth, but I wanted that. I felt like there should have been green. So I used that, and that mod is always like, it must have changed some files or something in the game files, because everything stayed green even though I removed the mod.
Oh, wow.
Huh. Yeah, you know, when I was saying that, I wasn't meaning, you know, full-blown foliage trees, just a little bit of green. I mean, you know, a little bit of patches of grass or some patches of weeds, a couple of leaves or something, just a touch. Well, Vault Girl, I could see how you could get kidnapped by a tree. You know, that's a common thing. Choppy says his question is, he wants to know why it doesn't snow. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. Well, they do have mods for that. I know I've seen that.
Oh yeah, I had a whiteout. I mean, it was just covered. Everything was snow.
Well, what I thought was funny is it was about 28 days after Christmas, and Kate goes, "Man, I can't wait to get out of this blistering heat." It's like, okay, dead of winter.
Yeah, the game
Kate's
doesn't even
sweating.
The game doesn't even recognize that. That's funny. The time of year that it is.
Right.
That would be pretty cool if they had some unique dialogue that happened around the holidays.
Yeah, that would be cool because they got a lot of unique dialogue for a lot of stuff. So something like that would, something about Christmas, because I don't know how long I played before I realized Diamond City decorated for Christmas and Halloween.
Right.
And it would be nice to kind of, one of your followers would say something. "Oh, it's almost Christmas. I wonder what you're getting me," or something, There you go. A weight bench up there. That'll go good.
Oh yeah, that'll be perfect.
Wash their dishes on that.
Yeah, turn snapping off, but that shit still... Oh, that's where I want it, so we'll just park it there.
What movie was that? I think it was Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead or something. I don't remember. One of those 80 movies. And the guy would...
dishes are done.
Yeah, do the dishes. So they're out on the roof throwing the dishes out there. The guy's shooting them with the pellet gun. Dishes are done.
There.
Got to do it over again, Vic. It's crooked. It's not straight.
Oh, I know. That's intentional.
No, sure.
Yeah, that normally I'm like lining up the legs with the lines on the floors. I'm like, nope, get it close.
I'm so bad about that. Everything's got to be perfectly straight. I didn't say anything about your lighting. I was like, man, if that was me, I'd have to have that center light right in the middle, and then I'd be putting them on the sides, It kind of looks cool, too, because it looks like it's got water in it because of the table. I'd be actually doing that a little different. I would probably put that on a static object, the sink, carpet, the bar top in there, right? And then group select the whole damn thing and take it where I want it to go.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing. Like when I was doing School Zones Challenge, I'm so used to after you get mods, you start building differently. And then to go back to no mods and go, okay, shit, I have to do this totally reverse to how I've been doing it for the last 6 months or a year,
Yeah, that's what Nacho commented on video back a little ways ago. He goes, dude, how you don't get people saying you use mods, I don't know.
Well, yeah, you're the Enterprise video for one,
Oh, I know what it was. It was on the street lamp or the light lamps I made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he was commenting. He goes, dude, these look just like mods. How you don't get people saying you don't use mods? I don't know. I get a lot of people ask me that while I'm streaming. Oh, what mods are you using? Because, I'm dishing out a lot of damage. And it's like, oh, well, here, let me show you what my mod list looks like. And I'll bring up all my saves. And I'm like, oh, I guess I don't have any mods to show you. And people go, oh, crap, you're not using mods?
Yeah, it seems
That's
like
funny.
that's one of the things that people do in streams, though. They're like, what mods are you using? It's like their first thing they want to know. I'm like, does it matter, really? Like, maybe if you notice something, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. What mod is that? But no, they want to know, like, right out the gate. I'm like, you guys are stupid.
Right. Right. And it seems like some of them are there just to see you using mods.
Right, exactly. Yeah, when I used to stream, I used to get that a lot. Was, what mod are you using? Oh, I'm not using any. Oh. All right, well, I'm going to take off then.
Right.
Well,
So you're only gonna
thanks a
watch
lot,
it.
Loco. You just busted my tree. I thought, well, here we are on tree again. I thought it was because I was being OP, but no, apparently it's the thing. So
No, it is a thing, but no, I can understand why some people would think that you're using mods though too. So I mean, it goes both ways. If somebody's been there for a while and they're asking you, then yeah, it's because you're doing some pretty awesome shit. But if they're just walking through the door and then going, hey, what mod are you using? Yeah, that's because that's what, especially the 12-year-olds, that's what they want to know.
right. Well, there's probably been a lot of people who got Fallout 4 just because there was mods for it,
Oh, I'm
and have
sure.
never played the game any other way.
Right.
Don't you? Why are there still piles of leaves on the ground and blowing through the air? Don't forget that.
Right. Yeah, leaves disintegrate pretty quickly.
Well, especially when it rains. I mean, when there's plenty of rain in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. There's no lack of rain. And that's another thing there, why there's so much radiated water. I mean, I can understand, the ground's probably heavily toxic, but, once rain has been or water has been evaporated and it rains, that's all fresh water.
Well, and I forget who it was, but they brought up a very good point well, yeah, it was Sar. Sardeliac, he's like water doesn't stay irradiated. Period. End of story. It's an insulator of radiation.
Right.
So you go swimming in a river, you wouldn't get radiated from the water. Unless, of course, there was something that was directly leaching into that water at that time that was radiated. Because then the water's carrying whatever that is. But this is the Fallout world. This is the world that we live in. So,
well, and then it's like, I guess people haven't realized that you can boil water to purify it.
Yeah.
They've lost that technology. They can build robots and shit, but they can't purify water.
I mean, that was the entire premise of Fallout 3.
That's pretty funny.
All right, guys, I will be right back. I need to stand up, stretch my legs, and use the big boys' room because there's no little boys around here. And I'll be back in just a minute, so enjoy the scenery and the wonderful conversation that we have going on here in Discord, and I'll be right back. Oh, and check out my shirt. Some of you saw it earlier, but, it's too dangerous to go solo. Take a Wookiee.
Nice.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah, I have to say that it does make you feel pretty good when especially like when you've built something and people think that it's some sort of a mod. Like I've had people in my videos go, where'd you get that mod? And I'm like, that's not a mod. That was just something I put together. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Okay.
Right. And the little light posts they built, they're so simple to build. I've actually used that trick for years doing awnings because we don't have awnings to say.
Right.
So, I'll use a carpet, put a carpet up, and then stack the fence posts on top of one another. And it's a simple thing to do. And especially if you use a floor, and now that we have, like the DLC contents, like the barn walls where they're half the height. I mean, it's just so simple to move stuff up and down. Right now I'm creating a new series that my friend Choppy asked me to make, to show in depth how to make round structures. So what I've done is I went clear back to the very beginning of when I started learning how to do this. And I show all the tips and tricks that I learned for the first year before any DLC started coming out. And then as the series progresses, then I start using other objects to show how you can still do the same thing, but using the beginning tips. Because in the Star Trek build, I showed how to create, how I created the saucer section.
Right.
But it's one thing to see it done. It's another to understand how it works like that. And I used to be able to build flat floors in vanilla content using one carpet. And, this is something I don't think anybody's ever seen before. Not saying I discovered it, but I don't think anybody's ever seen this. But if you place a floor on a carpet and then put another floor on the floor that you're working on, and it doesn't matter if it's a pre-existing floor, a floor you built, a ceiling even, that floor is slightly higher than the other, and you can actually insert it into the other floor. A lot. So what it's done is it thinks it's still the same height, but it's still slightly higher. And because of that, it'll actually penetrate into the floor. And when I first started building curved structures, I did a stair up, a stair down, stair up, stair down effect. And that's how I used a lot of the concrete blocks, the shack blocks or whatever they're called.
Right, yeah.
Foundations, I think is what they're called, floor foundations.
Yeah, floor foundation.
But then it didn't take me long to figure out how to actually blend them together into one seamless floor. And I've even used that trick to make seamless carpets. I can actually, and now that we have the mats, it's even cooler. I can actually make one entire floor of carpets or mats, and they don't set on top of one another. And you can grab one carpet or one of the mats and move the whole entire thing anywhere you want to put it. And because it is a carpet glitch or exploit, you can put it into anything you want. And that's how I made the ceilings in the Star Trek Enterprise. I just did the seamless carpet trick. Group selected it with a post and a conduit piping, set it up there, made a perfect clean ceiling for me.
My very first video was a 10-sided guard tower. I mean, my literal very first YouTube video was a 10-sided guard tower. And I just built it and did a short video on it. And enough people wanted to know how to do it, so then I did a build video on how to build them. And it was the stair up, stair down. I mean, we're talking January 2016. The game had only been out 2 months. And yeah, we've all learned so much more since then,
Right. Well, I didn't create my YouTube community until more than a year after the game came out. And it was because I was learning a lot of this stuff. And, some of my friends wanted to see it. But because it was so long since it had come out from the launch of the game, I just never got many people or, and plus I didn't know about the search engines and all that stuff. So realistically, well, for a year and whatever, I mean, I was lucky to see 13 views on them damn things.
Oh yeah, that is definitely the case, and it's great to catch a game when it's hot when you're a YouTuber. It's much harder to build a community after the bulk of people have moved on, and now you only have the hardcore people, or you're going to catch the people that got the game as a gift, or finally decided to pick it up a year later. But you don't have the 15 million people that are going, how in the hell do you do this, and going to YouTube 3 months after the game drops.
Well, my community has grown more since Christmas this year than it has in the last 3 years.
Nice.
And it's weird. I don't know why, but it is. And yeah, Christmas this year, I had 302 subscribers. One more subscriber, I'll hit 900.
Nice. Yeah, most of the people that are watching here that are YouTubers, their channels are all progressing. I wish we were all progressing a lot faster, but...
Well, I'm excited that mine's progressing as it is.
Sure.
We all have dreams of being the guy. Don't get me wrong, but I couldn't be happier. I've got, great people in the community. I guess why I feel lucky is because I'm getting to know a lot of them more on a personal level and not on a, you're just another sub.
Right.
And I think these guys that are bigger don't get that luxury. They get a few people that they've gotten to know a little better, but I feel like I really have a closer connection with a lot of, the community. And that's what I really enjoy. And I would rather stay small and have that than be big and not have that.
Oh, I completely agree. That's the way I look at it too. I've always been one of those people. I'd rather have a few really great friends than a lot of good friends.
Well, and I don't even know if you could consider a lot of those other people as even friends, I mean, I'm starting to have to get into the money part of it now because I just have no choice because of how big I'm getting. Or, to me, I'm getting big. I mean, to maybe the typical person watching, oh, you've got 900 subs, Bones, you're a peon, But to me, I mean, that's massively huge. But because of that, I've had to start, thinking about the future, and it requires money to think about the future.
Right.
When you're dumping 15 hours-ish a day into doing this, you got to have a way to pay for stuff. I pay for my editing software. I pay for other, what do I say, not social medias, but other internet services that help me do and make the stuff the way I make it. And I only want to get better at it. And you're not going to get better at it with free crap.
Okay, those shut off. That's shut off. That's not. These aren't. What the hell? Interesting.
Oh, somebody's got his wires crossed.
My generator's off.
Oh, I know how that works, but I don't know if it's the same reason because you're using mods.
Yeah. Yeah, but the generator's off.
Yeah, a long time ago, I learned a couple of things and how to move lights out of an area and still keep them on. But I don't use mods, so
right.
I don't know if that has an effect on what you're experiencing right now.
Back into build mode.
Yeah, I'm really worried about a lot of these people that, and, you know, first of all, I guess I better do a disclaimer here because I don't want to insult anybody.
But you're going to.
I'm going to. Right now, the hot thing is the powerless lighting. And I really feel bad for these people that are doing this because, oh my God, they're going to have a lot of problems. I actually tripped. Now, I didn't know that this is what happened, and I didn't know why it happened, and I didn't know how I could control it or repeat it like they do now. But it did give me a lot of problems, and I'm really afraid for a lot of these people that are using that and finding out about that now.
Oh, yeah.
Because you are going to have some problems. You might not get them today. You might not get them tomorrow, but you're going to get them, and you're going to hate them when you start getting them.
Zone's been promoting the crap out of that.
Yep, and that's the point I was getting at. I just didn't want to point fingers.
Who?
Paul at the School Zone.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, it is an amazing idea. It is. But guess what? You have anybody that does that, you are literally 2 moves away from breaking your entire game. Not just the build or the character you're on, your entire game. 2 wrong moves doing this, and you will pay the consequences for it. That's why I've never used the spark. You know how you can create a spark?
Right.
That's 1 move away from breaking your game.
How's it break the game?
I don't know. I'm not a code writer, but by doing that, okay, there is a video that I saw a long time ago, and I don't know the guy's name, but I saw that he had discovered how to do this. And he was a guy like you guys that know about the codes, that know about that kind of stuff. And he kept warning over and over and over again through the whole video. If you do not do it just like this, these are the problems and the issues you're going to have. And I just thought to myself at that moment it's like, I'm not a good enough, not only builder, but a good enough about knowing about codes of the game and stuff to do that. And I don't want to take the chance that I might do something wrong and break the game. And I do know this, that when I was making some of the very first tips and tricks videos, when I was first discovering about these fields, I hadn't quite figured them all out exactly yet, but I knew there was fields and I was getting them. I just hadn't discovered how to repeat it constantly. I did do that, and it crashed the game, and I couldn't load any of the saves on that character. I had to actually delete that entire file, create a new character, and start playing again. Now, what it is you got to do that will make it break, I don't know, because I left it alone and didn't repeat that over again. But I'm telling you, one of these guys or some of these guys are going to do that and then do something else, and they're going to get that problem. And then also another thing is, too, because of that stupid stuff, my cloud is full. I literally can't save any more on my cloud. And as time goes by, I have to keep deleting saves off to continue to keep playing and saving.
Yeah, that's not any good.
No, it's, I've had this discussion with a lot of my guys, but now that I'm streaming and they're seeing it popping up, they're like, oh, Bones, we didn't realize that, why don't you move it to an external hard drive or something? And trust me, I get a lot of really useful comments on how to do it, but nothing is going to work. First of all, when I started saving from the console, I didn't realize you could save to an external device or even to your hard drive on your Xbox. And it went automatically to the cloud. And because of that, it will always automatically go to the cloud. You can't change that at any time. So even if I created the only way I could do it is create a new profile, then change it to save on the hard drive or to an external device. But if I'm going to do that, what's the difference of just starting over again on the cloud, you know?
Right.
I've learned my lessons. But I really feel bad for the people that are trying this, because if they do something wrong, they're going to have problems, and they're not going to like the results of these problems.
Well, you know they'll do something wrong because we've all done it. You know, you're going along, you're like, I know exactly how to do this, and then you're like, ah, crap, I screwed that one up.
Right. And especially where you're not, you know, practiced at it. You know, if you're just trying it for the first few times, you're like, well, it did it this last time. Why didn't it do it this time? And then you go over and try something different. Oh, yeah, there you go. And that's what was happening to me when I was discovering the electrical in Fallout. Because I was trying so many different things, that's what happened. I'd get game freezes, I'd get dashboarded. I couldn't load a save. I'd have to go back to a previous save. It would say, this save is corrupted. Right. And you'd have to go get rid of that save, go to a previous one. I'm back out there building again and going right through it one more time, you know. And so I guess enough of that. That's got us all on the down mode now. Well, thank you for subscribing, Vault Girl. You rock, chick.
Hey, Stella, welcome.
Oh, you just brought a tear to my eye, Vault Girl. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember when I first found Old Nasty Bones here. I was looking for something about electrical, and I stumbled upon your channel, and I was like, oh, shit, I definitely need to be following this guy.
Well, and then I remember when I first met you, too, you had done, and I'm trying to remember, somebody said, do you know Draco Invictus? And I was like, oh, no. Dude, you need to cruise over because he's talking about you in one of his videos. And I was like, oh, crap, what did I do? I've done something, and, yeah, he's, you know, and I'm trying to think what it was. Did I say I come up with this idea, you know, or something? I didn't know what was up, and I was like, oh, crap. So I go over and I watch, and it was the video on the awnings.
Oh, yeah.
Where I made the awnings at the Nuka World build.
Yep.
And, dude, my jaw was literally on the floor from all the unbelievable things you were saying about me. I mean, it was. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, well, this is like the total opposite of what I thought was going to happen.
No, because as opposed to some YouTubers, I give credit. Not mentioning any names.
It almost seems like a callback.
Well, you know, if I do something that I've seen on another person's channel, which I have done a couple, even though, you know, I'm really good at electrical, I still don't know everything. But a guy had subbed to my channel, and he mentioned something about having a YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm all about subbing with the little guys. You're part of my community. I'm going to go over and sub to your community. And I go over there, and I notice right off the bat, he's got this video that's, I think it was titled Alternating Neon Lighting. And I'm like, okay, now what's that about?
Insane Sheklador?
Insane Sheklador, right.
That dude's freaking awesome.
Right. And so I watched this video, and I'm like, oh, crap. I got to take what I know and what he's doing, and I got to make a video. And I do. And it's like, okay, you know, I give him all kinds of credit. Dude, people, you got to go check this guy's channel out. He's doing stuff that, you know, I hadn't really considered doing or thought about wanting to do. And so I do his, you know, redo his video over, but I use the field technique to do it. He was using the conduit radiators and placing them in certain areas so they would only affect and they wasn't overlapping. And I'm like, oh, no, I know how to do fields. Let's do this. And then my mind was blown. I'm making individual neon letters pop up, doing with the alternating switches and stuff. I mean, I'm going crazy with it now. And, you know, and I haven't seen him for a while, and I've even mentioned him a couple of times, but I haven't seen him for a while. I don't know if he's still YouTubing or not.
Yeah, he hasn't made many videos lately, I don't think.
Right. But he said that it took him a long time to make a video, too. I think he's on the PS4 or something. I'm not for sure. But, yeah, had a lot of good conversations with that guy. A lot of great ideas, and, yeah, awesome.
Welcome back again, Stella.
Yeah, and I think a couple of extra cool railings like that would have been awesome in the vanilla Fallout.
Oh, yeah.
You know, instead of just the couple we got, we could have definitely used, well, we got one full floor one. That's the junky boards up and down. I think we could have stood to got a couple of those.
Yeah, I had someone, I remember I was using those, and someone's like, I don't know why you use those. They're not even used in the game. So then I went around pointing out, here they are, here they are, here they are. They're all over the damn place.
Right. Right. And I noticed that with a lot of mods that I used back in the day, you could find those objects somewhere in the game.
Yep.
And I always thought to myself, well, I guess the reason they do that is because, hey, there's already the, wire mesh for it. Why create a whole new frame and everything when you've already got one?
Come on. There we go. Yeah, and then I, because I try and, these here, I love this. See, look, just created a little window. And I try and alternate, like if you look up there, you won't see any, that is actually a single, that's a double up there, not a single. And that's why it looks, and, but I always alternate my railing, and someone gave me a hard time about that. And I was like, there's virtually no places in the entire Commonwealth that all the railing is the same.
Yeah, it's funny you would say that, because I've had a comment or two where people said I use too many railings together in one area. But like we said, you can't please everybody.
Nope, that you can't do.
That's what I wished we would have gotten, was more doors. Why didn't we get more doors? Out of everything, why did we get one junky damn door? Why?
Right.
Hell, I don't even use doors because I get so sick and tired of them having to be opened and closed.
Well, I don't use many doors either, but They give us one thick ass door that doesn't match up with any. Well, it matches up with the junky.
Oh, you're talking about the wall with the door in it?
Well, it's like
The door frame.
it's the only one in the wall section.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, all the walls in there are all thin, like boards, except for this. It's as thick as a concrete wall, you know. That does kind of match up a little bit with those half wall or half floor width walls. It does match up with those a little bit. But, you know, really, why didn't we get more door frames?
Have to agree.
And yes, Major, I am building the barracks. And now I'm going to jump over to barn walls. Let's go with the shingled walls. That's not gonna work. You're gonna make me turn off snapping now. Son of a bitch. And we'll go with the hole in it because then we'll patch the hole. There. Where it uses build anywhere, STC, and Quappa, and the suggestion is you can move just about anything in the game. God, that would take for frickin' ever though, Stella. Could you imagine moving something from Salem to Sanctuary? Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. Major, you're just messing with me now. Interesting. All right, I'm with you. Yeah, for some of the limitations that are in PS4, some of the tools that you guys actually have are incredibly powerful. You know what? Let's get out of here. Wood. And we'll grab Yeah, that'd be cool. You'll have to let us know how that works. There we go. All right, so we've got our little radio area here. Let's throw a chair over here. Or two. Damn. That wire runs right up the middle of that truss work. Cool. Now we just need to get power over there. And that's going to be... Oops. Nope. That'd be cool, Major.
Well, I've got a build that I replaced them all with foot lockers. Does that count?
Why? Oh, can't do it to there. Got to... All right, so let's store that wire. And we'll just put down a regular one here. There. Now everything should be powered up there. Show enough. Yes, no sparkly sneakers, please. Hey, Cordy.
Well, I understand what you mean about the sparkly sneakers, but I want to know why men buy the sparkly pocket pants. What the hell is that about?
Oh, that's a valid question.
They've given up their man card. That's the obvious answer.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that, Loco. What?
They've given up their man card. That's the obvious answer.
Oh, yeah.
They're metrosexual.
Yeah, somebody was, God, who was it? I don't even remember what it was, but they said something about, giving back, or the wife wants something back. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, yeah, and the wife wants her pants back too. Get them off, you know. Yeah. Men who like bedazzled. And that was a big thing back in the day, but I think it was mostly woman-oriented.
Yeah, bedazzled should be for children only.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, shit. Whoops. I'm probably stuck in here, aren't I?
I was waiting for that. What is bedazzled? I was waiting for that. That just shows how old we are, guys.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Stella, there was this machine that you could get, and it was kind of like a QVC thing. It was an advertisement for it. And you would get these hundreds of different kinds of jewels, and it was basically like a stapler that you would put these jewels in, and you would staple them into your clothing. And they were doing all kinds of shit with it, doing shirts, doing pants, doing shoes, doing bags, doing all kinds of stuff. And it was called Bedazzle.
Stella, if you've ever seen the movie The Game Plan with Dwayne Johnson, where he's the football player taking care of the little girl, she bedazzled his football.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, rhinestones. There you go, Victor. Yeah, they were like rhinestones. Little shiny gems of all kinds of colors and sizes and shapes.
Yep.
But it was basically like a stapler. It had these little prongs on the back, and when you'd put it in and push it down, it would bend them over, and that's what would hold them onto the object. I like to highlight, not overdo. Well, some of the things that these people were doing was overdoing it, trust me.
right underneath the stairs, so that'll work.
Let's see. Oh, wordy. I guess that's how you say that.
That'd be QWERTY, like your keyboard.
Oh, QWERTY. Okay, I got you. I didn't have that problem. I just went ahead and became the old brother, and everybody else was under me. So, yeah, I didn't have to worry about that stuff. I just bypassed that problem, having an older sister.
Punch him in the jewels.
Back then, we'd have to say, which one?
Right. The ones that count. Yeah, that's about right. Hey, Adam. Welcome to the stream, buddy. How you been? Yeah, see, crap like this, barrels and crates. Oh, my God, why isn't this in the vanilla game?
Build a whiskey still.
Hell, I probably already have something like that in here.
I guess you probably could with vanilla. It might not look exactly like the traditional whiskey still because we don't have a coil of any kind.
You can use a chemistry stand. I did one at my Green Top Nursery when I did my Green Top Brewery. And use the chemistry stand. I mean, you can be a lot more creative as you do stuff, but yeah, you can use that and add some shit to it and get something that somewhat resembles it anyway.
Right. Yeah, if we had a little fewer more options in the electrical conduit piping,
yeah,
could, use some of that. But
yeah, I used the conduit piping to go between a couple different ones, so that way it looked like it was going back and forth between one and another.
Right. Well, one major thing there's two things in the conduit piping I think we should have got. First of all, the uprights should have gave us 3 different ways. One where it bends, like the top goes right, the bottom goes left.
Yep.
We should have got one where the top comes in from whatever direction and then it goes the opposite, like side to side. So you got one coming in forward and then one coming to you at the bottom.
Right.
We should have got 3 of those, one going one way, one going the other. Also, we should have got a 45-degree pipe to follow roofs or ceilings.
Yeah.
Or in the angle of a roof or ceiling.
Right.
Yeah.
And why we didn't get one of those, or you could have still, well, I guess you couldn't still use the straight ones because they don't turn, but should have got some 45s and then corner pieces that cornered from a horizontal to a 45.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I don't even know if there's any of those like that in mods even. That might be something for you to build, Vic.
Well, let's see what we have.
Yeah, I haven't used mods for a long time or even looked at them. There may be something like that now, but...
Let's go over structures, wood, master plan, and it is in vanilla extensions. But I mean, yeah, look at this. This is a power conduit, horizontal, small, angled. Right? There's the one that you're looking for.
There you go. See, yeah, see something like that. Yeah, absolutely. And it could even have the curve on the end. That would,
right.
Well, I guess that would, yeah, you know.
Taller
I was
angled.
thinking, right, I was thinking like a curved corner piece that is flat and then goes down. But yeah, something on the end like that would even be, yeah, that would even be doable. Definitely.
And then we got a short vertical, then the medium horizontal, short angle, tall angle, taller or medium vertical. And then you got the long horizontal. I mean, that tall horizontal is, or tall vertical is nice. I mean, that's warehouse wall right there.
Right, right.
And then you have the little angled pieces.
Well, what didn't make sense to me is, our uprights come in from one direction and go down and come out the same direction.
Right.
I mean, why is that really useful? Because you're not, you're probably going to want to do that in a corner or on a wall or something. And yeah, it just, actually, I think the one they got is probably the most useless one to have.
Right. Look at that one. That one actually has a bow to it.
Now, see, that makes Fallout 4 sense.
Right? Oh, these allow lights to snap to them at that's what this is. This is like a string. You can actually snap lights right to them.
Oh. Okay,
yeah.
Well, I make those in vanilla, but
right.
You don't snap the light to it.
Yeah, also snaps to balcony spots. Yeah, see, look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, light wire.
That's cool. Yeah, I make those, but they don't snap. You got to use group select and have a little bit of luck.
Right. But yeah. So that is the different conduits. But you don't have anything that has a rise like this coil here.
Right, right. Yeah, and that would definitely give you the still look.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't have a curved piece that has a rise to it, so.
Cordy, I always say that it's the smallest things in life that can bring so much joy to a guy or gal. It really is. Yeah, see, if those had a little slight uprise to it, you could build a coil. That's pretty tight.
Yeah, see, and it won't snap to the top of that piece there, so. So yeah, no coil. And vanilla extensions, this is the most... I've looked at conduit pieces when I was doing the evolution challenge when I was building the factory. Because of course I was looking for more than what vanilla was offering. Because I hated the stupid uprights. You know, when I want to go up 2 floors, I don't want to have to, you know, go outside the wall, then come back inside the wall, and then go up one, and then go outside the wall again, and then go... It's stupid.
Or inside the wall.
Right.
You know, I've got that in the Tanner's Toy Factory, and it looks cool, but it doesn't really look like how it would look if you went into a factory.
Right.
Excuse me.
The biggest problem that I run into is, you know, I'm running 8 lines, you know, and I use like your jig that you had been working on to do multiple runs. The problem is when you reach the end and you need them all to go to the right, you know, then you have to... That's why I was looking for something like this where it had like the super short horizontal runs so that it would actually work. I mean, but that's the shortest run that you got, which is essentially the same size as the conduit that we have. So you still run into the same problem.
Well, you know, and even though it helps doing that, you couldn't go down a wall, let's say forward, make the turn. You can do that, go down the wall in front of you. But then if you want to turn and come back down the wall the same direction, but on the other side, it doesn't do that. You can't get that. So then the only way to get that is to use their uprights they've got, and then it gives you another angle to run, but it comes back to you and then goes down. Yeah, it was a lot of work trying to figure out that conduiting. That was definitely a lot of work.
But yeah, we will definitely be exploring conduit more, the conduit mods, all that stuff when I do my factory build series. You know, we'll just use an entire episode to talk about vanilla conduit versus mods, and the cool thing
I don't think you need a whole entire stream for that. You just can say, okay, this is better.
Right? Yeah, exactly. You know, so there's the mod, and then if we come back over here, power conduit. It'll snap right to it. So you can mix and match. And,
oh, okay, cool.
And they all work, you know?
Right.
So if
you know,
like these,
blending back and forth between the two, mod and vanilla, absolutely.
You know, the nice thing about the... is you don't have these big chunky connectors between the two. Like if I was going to lay another modded piece of conduit, it would just look like one solid string of conduit.
Right. Well, I know why they did that, because when you're actually running conduits in real life, they have those connectors on the end where you insert the other conduit into it and then, you know, have the little set screw to hold that piece in.
Yeah, but you don't run it.
But why there's one in the middle?
Yeah, you don't run it. You don't run conduit in 4-foot sections. You know.
Right.
I'm just assuming that is 8 feet right there. You know, that's the general idea.
Right. And see, I've always kind of thought a floor was about 10 foot.
Oh, okay.
But that's close. That's close enough. Yeah, 8 foot, 10 foot. You know. But until they give us a tape measure and we can lay it down, hell, it could be 3 foot. Who knows?
Right. Well, my thought is that a typical wall, if you were building with drywall,
right, 4 by 8,
right, and because your studs would end up at 4 feet or 8 feet, you know, if they're evenly distributed. So,
and that makes sense. You know, that does make perfect sense.
Yeah, but then again, we're also talking about a game. What the hell makes sense in Fallout? You know, there's grass, but nothing's green. There's leaves, but there's nothing on the trees.
Yeah, and that list goes on and on and on.
And the only reason I'm sleeping here instead of just using the mod is, for one, all this is not affecting the sleep cycle, but it also doesn't screw up the lights. I think that's what it was. Is I use the lights to jump from night to day, and so the trigger missed turning 6 a.m. So the lights all stayed on.
Yep, I bet you're right.
There you go. Well, that makes sense to me. That's why I was saying earlier, because you're using mods, I wouldn't have any clue why that was doing that. If you weren't using mods, then I have some pretty good ideas.
Someone explain the shark-dolphin hybrid. I can't do that, Major.
Dolphins like to have sex. Explained.
Yeah, dolphins actually have sex for
pleasure.
The pleasure of it.
Yep.
And what do you call it? Do you call it a, is it a shelfin?
The dark.
Is it a dork?
I vote dork, okay? That's what I'm on.
Yep, caught myself a dork. Ada's going to come out here and she's going to gut that thing.
I hope you're enjoying my company. We do make a terrific team.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ada.
Now, that's a mod I would use, one that shuts the hell up of followers.
I have one that shuts up Vault Tech guy in Sheffield. But for some weird reason, he took it down. I still have it because it's on my local machine, but the logo and all that stuff and the description is all gone from it, which tells me that it's no longer on Bethesda.net.
Huh.
It's definitely getting there. Let's take a look here.
Well, it probably wouldn't be so bad if they had more than like 4 things, they said.
Right.
I was talking to a guy last night. He said he uses a mod. He has 2 sex bots that are followers, and they have over 7 hours of dialogue. Now, see, that wouldn't be bad.
Right.
Because it would be a lot of different stuff all the time. But when they've literally got 4 or 5 things that they're just constantly repeating over, and that's everybody, even your vendors and your settlers and stuff. Enough is enough. There's nothing wrong about having sex bots following you around, Choppy. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep, coming along nicely.
Yeah, it looks great, Vic. It really does.
I was trying to find I didn't want to do all of the barn or warehouse flooring, but I could not find a place that was level enough that you would put containers, like a container farm like this, down. And this is one of the flattest spots in all of the Commonwealth that's big enough to support it. And I still had to put flooring down. And you can see the ground is still coming up in a couple spots.
Yeah, but that looks realistic. Like, a little bit of wind has blown some of the sand in on it.
Yeah,
I think your floor looks great.
I certainly could have raised it up, but...
Right. I can see, what you're meaning. It would look cool if it was all containers as the floor.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I think it looks great. Absolutely. Very inventive, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, these are actually the warehouse or barn foundations.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was weird too. You have 2 different sections that definitely have different textures, but the floors are exactly the same.
Right. Well, and again, I think that they did that to keep the build menu streamlined.
Well, but they still added a barn floor or a warehouse floor. Well, you couldn't change the texture on one of the floors. They did on all the other floors.
Sure.
The barn floors don't look like the warehouse floors or walls.
Well, the only big difference between the warehouse floors and the barn floors are whether you're using wood or steel. That's it. They're the exact. If you look beyond, if you just look at the patterns on them, they're the same. All they did is swap out the wood texture for the steel texture, and then require wood or steel for the building. But I don't mind these floors at all. I think these are awesome floors.
I like them. I use them a lot. I do. I also like the concrete foundation floors. They've got some nice textures to them. And if you're doing certain kind of builds, they have a good look. And that might have been a cool look in here for you, too, with that framing of it.
Right. I turned snapping off.
Vault Girl, you're making chicken soup. Can I come over for lunch? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I was thinking about these floors here.
I use some of the screen floors for some of my stuff too. I think, depending upon what you're doing, they got a pretty cool look.
Yeah, see, these are steel and concrete, and those are wood and just wood. But essentially, that's the same floor. All they did was change out the textures. They took this model and swapped textures for wood, and there you go.
Right. Well, and they should have done that for the foundation floors as well.
Sure.
Should have had a different texture look. You're swapping resources to build it. It should have a different look to it.
Right. 4 o'clock. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up this live stream, ladies and gentlemen, because I need to get some food in me before I start streaming State of Decay 2 here in a little bit. And I guess next Sunday, we will continue plugging on the container for it here. I can't imagine... it's not going to take too much longer, because that's the only bedding area that we're going to set up. So we got that done. It's just setting up little things that you would find in both games. So we've got our workshop, and we've got our radio center, and, we got guard posts and stuff like that. So we will get this done here in the next week or two. And I won't do any building on it until the next live stream, so that you guys can be part of that. And I appreciate all 17 of you hanging out with me, as always. If you guys got any questions, comments, kicks, or complaints, you can always hit me up on social media. Of course, links are in my profile. And until next time, Wastelanders, you take care of yourselves out there. This is Draco Invictus saying this has been the greatest day in my life. See ya! Say goodbye, stream.
Good night, stream.